Hello and welcome back here in the cave. My name is Elias, and in today's video we'll again cover some interesting facts and news out of the finance and crypto space. We will talk over the recent price movements in Bitcoin and other currencies. We will talk over an interesting bet made on Bitcoin, that Bitcoin actually should go to $1 million. We will check that out. We will check the recent FOMC meeting, so the meeting yesterday where we talked about interest rates in the US. It's always quite relevant in the finance and crypto space. We'll talk about phishing and how you can prevent getting scammed. We will also talk about the dollar cost averaging zones, what I am currently doing with my trades and my positions. And with that being said, let's jump into the video and get the content rolling. Alright, as always, we want to start on CoinMarketCap. And yeah, some are green, some are red. As usual, let's check out Bitcoin just real quick. So we saw recent price movements, especially yesterday. Was a lot of volume in the market actually from yesterday, but it kind of stabilized it quite well, I would say. We're still in an interesting region. We will talk about that at the end of the video, what that region means. I mean, we talked about it already in the last few videos, and some of you may already know that interesting region we're in. But first of all, to a region we were not visited yet, the $1 million region. And the former head of technology of Coinbase actually made a huge bet. So he paid his $1 million Bitcoin bet. He betted a lot of money, 1.5 million, I think, on that Bitcoin will hit $1 million. So the exact bet was a while ago. So over here, you can see, I will take that bet. You buy one Bitcoin, I will send $1 million in USD. This is 40-to-1 odds that Bitcoin is worth, since Bitcoin is worth $26,000 at that time. The term is 90 days. So basically what he just did is a bet that Bitcoin will reach $1 million. And why does he think that Bitcoin will reach $1 million? Not because Bitcoin is so strong, but the US dollar will hyperinflate. So his guess was that the US dollar will be so weak in 40 or whatever 90 days from then on that Bitcoin will be worth $1 million. Obviously it's not 90 days exactly, but he paid his bet out because he said like, yeah, it's important to stay true. And he actually made a video, I burned $1 million to tell you they're printing trillions. And he has some fair points, absolutely, when he says that the US is hyperinflating the US dollars and stuff, and they're lying to you. And we will just quickly check out one thing, the FOMC meeting from yesterday, and come back to his facts again. Because yesterday there was an interesting FOMC meeting. I watched it live and it was quite enjoying. I mean, obviously it's not the most interesting thing to watch. It's not like watching, I don't know, Iron Man or whatever, but it's interesting to see. And also the markets yesterday were super volatile because of that. First we went up, huge candle to the upside, and then down again. It was crazy. But it was exactly as expected. They raised the interest rates higher to 5.25%. So it's at the same level, actually, it says it here, like August 2007. Obviously 2008 is in a lot of people's minds. So 2008 was a huge financial crisis, the global financial crisis. And yeah, probably we're heading to an area somewhere there, right? And actually that's also what he is pointing out on. And it was funny because yesterday Jerome stepped out of his secret room and he went there, and the first thing he said was, before we get started, I just want to point out that the banking sector is healthy and we don't have to be scared. Because there was that thing going on with the First Republic Bank that they also had liquidity problems, and JP Morgan then just took them over, so everything clear with them. But it was quite a scene because he said, no worries, everything is clear, the banking is clear and stuff, and no problem, we will see a soft landing and everything is great and stuff, and we see the whole sector evolving healthy. So the thing he also points out is that even though we would crash this plane, right? When you're a pilot in that plane and everyone is scared and is not doing anything and screaming around, you would also, even though when you know it will be a hard landing, you will tell them, hey, no worries, you don't have to worry, everything is fine, we will land just softly and everything goes well. Because when the people are scared, it helps nobody, right? And especially in Jerome's situation, it helps really nobody if everyone is scared and everyone is stopped spending their money and saving everything and everyone is scared and stuff like that. That helps nobody, right? So I understand Jerome's situation, absolutely. But we have to be a bit smarter and be aware of the situation and probably consider that it will be a hard landing and prepare ourselves for that, right? And we're especially talking about the US dollar. Obviously, the whole economy will collapse if the US dollar will collapse, but you can do some tweaks. And I mean, he said go all in Bitcoin, right? And that's an option, but there are also other options and I will talk about them later during the video. But with that being said, to the first thing I just want to quickly make you guys aware of, and this is the phishing thing which is going on. And I am aware of a lot of phishing sites because we also have some crypto projects, right? And we also have some problems with sites trying to steal the funds of our users by just making similar sites. And these sites can actually be quite similar. Look at this. Imagine you just want to stake some ETH on Lido and you type in Lido, and then the first thing which comes up is lido.is. It looks, I mean, you just look at Lido, right? You don't check the full URL always. That's why it's super important to do that. Just check the full URL and don't click on sponsored stuff. Always click on the not sponsored stuff, which is listed the highest. And the best thing you can do is always check the domain you're on. Always. When you connect your wallet to something, just do the extra 1 millisecond and check the URL you're on. And you can't get scammed by phishing then, right? You just have to be a bit aware of what you're doing. That's super important. So yes, just quickly want to cover that. But with that being said, to another thing, which is a bit more interesting. And this is the dollar cost average territory. So this is just the volume chart. It shows the volume movement over a long period of time. And you see, let me zoom in a bit. Yeah, perfectly. You just see that's the Bitcoin price over a long period of time. And you saw previously, I think this is 2013, 17 and 20. And you saw the dollar cost averaging phase already stopped for 2023. Right? We already went out here again. And this is something I covered on in a lot of videos already, that I think the bottom is in. But despite that, I still would say it's still a good time to dollar cost average into the market when you have a longer time horizon. I'm talking about 1 year, 1.5 years. Because I especially think that the time for the next bull market top will be somewhere around end of 2025 or in 2025, late 2025. Just my suggestion, my guess, taking the historical data out of the halving events and the normal period after halving events. Obviously, it's a different environment that we're in, just from an economical standpoint. But we also have to say, the last bull cycle, we were in a global crisis and in a health crisis, right? Coronavirus hit and stuff. Obviously, we printed a lot of money, which makes it easier. But I think even though the hard crash that we will see will probably happen before the next bull market actually starts, right? Just also historically, the next halving is in 1 year, approximately 1 year, a bit more. And after that, I think, from there on, historically, we saw the upwards movement for the bull cycle peak. So I think up until then, we will see the hard landing. But let's quickly check that out. So what I have a lot of drawings here. I know it looks fancy. And the red line here is the next halving. So it will be approximately on the 28th of April. That's, we've been there already. It's a year from now, right? And when we look at it a year from now, or a year back, when we look at the top of the mid-cycle rally, 2019, to the halving, the next halving, we're talking about the region right over here. When we look at how much time it took from 2017 bull cycle top until top of the mid-cycle rally, we see it was right around here, right? And I think it matches quite well to the region we said we will go, right? I always talked about the region between here 30 and 40,000. It was not that much momentum going on. And I did not think that we will stagnate here so hard. But we previously talked a lot about this blue line, right? With the support here, a lot of support here. It was a resistance back here, obviously. And it's an interesting line, and we're still stuck there. And let's see where we're going. And by the way, the purple field here between the 25, a bit lower than 25, 24,000 and 20,000, I think will be a region that we will go back into before we will see the next bull cycle. But yeah, time will tell. No one has a glass ball, we say in German. I think it's also something in English, but we will see that. And I'm really curious what will happen over the next period of time. I am super cautious right now with going into new positions. I'm more on the side of stepping back and really also reducing my Bitcoin and Ethereum positions over the next few months. So I'm not going into more positions. I know I said we will probably see more of a green summer, and I still believe we can go higher. But over the long term, over the next few months, I think we will head lower, and I'm not too bullish. I still think we can go somewhere around here, right? 35, probably 36,000, and also time-wise, we're talking about June, end of June. Still think this is possible, but for me, I started the dollar cost average since already here in January, and I'm happy with my profits. Did some good profits and will now start probably to even reduce positions. But yeah, this is about it. And I understand that everyone who's in the US dollar, I would also not be comfortable to just go all into Bitcoin just to hedge the inflation. That's why I want to cover just briefly something, and this is the Swiss franc. And I just want to emphasize how stable and great the Swiss franc performed in comparison to all other fiat currencies. So this is all the currencies, the major currencies. No Asian currencies on here, by the way, sorry. Just the euro, the British pound, and the US dollar against the Swiss franc. And we saw that every currency underperformed onto the Swiss franc. So the Swiss franc was basically kept on zero, right? And obviously over short periods of time, some currencies did better, but over the long run, you're quite safe in the US dollar, right? And talking about 2008, right? It's not looking too good. And just want to say that. And if you not know, we also have a Swiss franc stablecoin, a decentralized one. You don't have to trust me. You don't have to trust anyone of the team. It's anyways a DAO. You just have to trust the blockchain. That's the beauty of DeFi. Exactly. But with that being said, I think we're at the end of the video. I really hope you enjoyed it. If you did so, please consider dropping a like or a comment. This is the easiest and a completely free way to support this channel. It shows me that I should do more of this kind of videos. There will also follow more just informational videos on that channel. I really hope that you like to see these too. With that being said, I wish you a very nice rest of your week. Much success investing, and we will see each other in the next video. Bye bye.